All right. Good afternoon, everyone. It is setting up to be a potentially stormy night, but maybe not as stormy as we thought. So, good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for joining. Want to give everyone an update on where we're at, what we can expect. It is something that's been a very volatile situation. As I talked about this morning, the forecast is very complicated. And we're kind of seeing that. And now, right now, the trends are for Dallas Fort Worth that we would see the severe weather threat decrease a little bit, not down to zero, but we're going to talk about why that is. So that's why I wanted to start with this screen. So this is the weather data from my house at the current moment. And you can see there it's 59 degrees. That's probably about the best thing you could look at when we're talking about the chance for severe weather, because those storms that moved through just after lunch really helped stabilize the atmosphere, and they also helped push that warm front south, further south than we thought it was going to be. I'll show you that in just a second. So that's helped keep the air at the surface stable enough to where it's not that we won't see storms later with the front. It's just that we won't see these. Hopefully, we won't see these supercell thunderstorms that we've seen down south. But we'll just go right to that. All right. So this is a little bit bigger picture. I'm going to expand this out, and then I'm going to zoom in. So I want to expand this out because you can kind of see the different colors. This is our Storm Prediction Center thunderstorm risk map. The light green is marginal risk, which Dallas-Fort Worth is included in. The yellow is the slight risk, a level 2 out of 5, and then the orange, slight orange, is the the enhanced risk, 3 out of 5. So that is south of Dallas-Fort Worth. If you remember this morning, we were thinking it was going to be right in the Metroplex, but it's not. So now, again, that doesn't mean we won't see storms. It's just that we're thinking the worst of the worst will be south of us. Not good for our friends down south. So if you do know anybody that lives down south, let them know, because as you can tell, we have 2 tornado warnings right now. Again, this is not for the Metroplex, so this is northwest of Waco and then also south of Glen Rose. Not too far from Lake Whitney, so if you have friends or family down that way, shoot them a text, give them a call, let them know that the weather is pretty bad down that way. And then we also have another pretty nasty looking storm that's west of Stephenville, and we'll zoom in on that one a little bit. No tornado warning on that one, but again, got a pretty good little hook on it, so I wouldn't be surprised if it gets a tornado warning here pretty soon. All right, so let's zoom this back out a little bit. So the thing that I think we want to watch out for the Metroplex are these storms that are along the front, which is right about here. So these are moving in this general direction. Now, it's not a solid line, although it might be at some point, as you can kind of see. We're seeing some potential for a line to develop like this. I think ultimately it will. Now, whether it's ultimately solid or not, that's a whole nother story. But I think I think for the Metroplex, that is the biggest threat we'll have. So what does that really mean? So if these storms do get their act together and form a line, there's really 2 things. One is we may see some hail threat. I don't think we'll see the huge hail that we see with these storms down south. Not out of the question, but potentially not near as big. And then if the line gets together, then it will be more of a wind threat between now and 8 o'clock, something like that, 8, 9 o'clock. So that's really what we're looking at right now. Now, again, if we get some breaks in the clouds with us, beforehand, then that's something that we would definitely want to look out for, because it could change things. All right, so let's see what we got here. Hey, Barbara. When are we expecting for our area? Okay. Can I drive until 5? Yeah, I think you can, Barbara. If you're doing something between 5:30 and 6:30, I think that you're going to be okay. I just don't see, unless something just really pops up, I just don't see a big issue with that. So I think it'll be fine there. So no worries there. Put this over here. All right. So let's kind of reset everything. So as far as watches and warnings, the red outline boxes in the counties, that's the tornado watch. That is until 10 p.m. That is not for Dallas-Fort Worth. So again, if you're just tuning in, this is the tornado watch until 10 p.m. It's not for Dallas Fort Worth area south, and then of course, as you can tell, we got two tornado warnings south of us and severe thunderstorm warning southwest of Stephenville. And then if you have some folks out east of Tyler, that's actually the storm complex that came through around lunchtime for us. It's kind of gotten its act together a little bit east of us, so there was a tornado warning on that storm a little while ago, but not much. You're welcome, B, no problem. So again, right now, almost a quarter till 5. Some of you will watch this a little bit later. So, number one, we have no watches for Dallas Fort Worth. Now we have a tornado watch just south, Ellis County, Johnson County, Hood County. Got tornado watch till 10 p.m. Certainly no warnings for Dallas Fort Worth. That could change. I think if we do see some things, it would be after 6, maybe closer to 7, maybe 8 o'clock. And the key for us is two things. One is, get my drawing tool here. One is, what are these storms going to do? Are they going to stay, scattered, if you will, more isolated and move on through? Are they going to form a line and move on through? The good news is right now again, this is we have more daylight than we used to. So, the sun not going down until about 8 o'clock. So we do have time to get some more heating between now and then. If that's the case, then our severe weather threat would ramp up. Right now, though, my house, it still hasn't cracked 60 degrees. And that's about the best news you can think of, because these storms that came through really tamped down the instability in our neck of the woods, which, hey, that's I'll take that all day long. Okay, so let's put this radar in motion here. And so this is the last couple of hours, back to 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and you can see the line northwest of us. Not really, doing a whole lot. There's no warnings on it. There's no special weather statements on it. So I think that's so far so good. But again, wouldn't be shocked if we saw that line get us act together a little bit more. But we got plenty of time to watch it. I just don't see. Again, starting to see some showers northeast of McKinney. I just don't see where we're going to have a bunch of pop-up storms in Dallas-Fort Worth, but we could. And so, you're welcome, Judy. We could. That's why we got to watch it, and that's why I'll be watching it. So I just want to come on and give you a quick update. So I also want to show you the satellite picture, because these are always fascinating to look at. And so let me refresh this one more time. Did this. Yeah, okay. So you can see these thunderstorms blowing up west and southwest of the Metroplex, and these anvil clouds are kind of moving over us now. So that won't hurt anything either. But again, we just got to watch for any clearing, any heating between now and sunset. I don't see a big chance for that. But again, things have changed pretty quick. So that's why we're watching it. That's why I'm watching it. So that's the good news. And again, if we go back to my house, again, not quite 60 degrees. That's, again, very, very good news. Let's keep it cool. The cooler we are, the better off we are. All right, so let's go back to the radar here. All right, so as a reset, again, for those of y'all who may just be joining us, green, marginal risk of severe thunderstorms. Again, we were in the enhanced risks earlier this afternoon. Got taken out again because those storms that moved through earlier today kind of pushed that warm front south. That's good news for us. Not good news for people south of us, but good news for us. Hopefully it'll stay that way. We don't want that warm front moving back north. If you have family and friends that live in the west of Waco, in Meridian, tornado warnings. And matter of fact, we'll see what the velocity is on that one. Yeah, so this is what we could have been seeing here in our area, but you can see pretty good little couplet rotation there. This one is even stronger right there. So that's something, again, if you have some friends that live in Whitney, Lake Whitney, I would say south to Hillsborough, West Texas, Waco, just give them a text, give them a call, let them know what's going on. I know we're all busy and it's 5 o'clock and everybody's going home. We got school stuff. But if you live in those areas, if you know people that live in those areas, tell them to take it seriously, because those storms mean business. And this storm around Stevensville doesn't show a lot of rotation, a little broad rotation. So if we go up here to these storms, again, these storms are put reflectivity back on there. These storms, again, are north of the warm front, so they're elevated. We say they're elevated because they're above the stable boundary layer. So the air above that layer is unstable. That's why you're seeing the storms form, but it's having to go through a cool layer, and so that's good for tornadoes. It doesn't stop hail, but it's good for tornadoes. But the hail doesn't tend to be as big. Hello, Amy. Maybank and Gun Barrel. Well, let's go down there so you can see Gun Barrel City right there. You're just kind of on the northern edge of, the trouble area, if you will. So I'm going to expand this out a little bit. So here, really, if you live, there we go. If you live in the Metroplex, we are not out of the woods by any means, but it's just not looking as dire. So the effective warm front is probably somewhere like that. And actually, this storm over here is riding that boundary. This storm is riding that boundary. That's why you got to watch this one. These aren't riding the boundary, but they're in the most unstable area. That's why you're seeing these tornadoes pop up, because it's in a very unstable atmosphere. So, to your specific question, Amy, Maybank and Gun Barrel City, I think you're a little bit closer. Let's zoom in here. You're a little bit closer to the action, which is the kind of action you don't want to be close to. But if that warm front, if these storms, put these storms in motion for you. If these storms can stay south of you, then that's what you want. So, and this is something else I want to point out too. So when we look at these first couple of radar frames, you see these storms wanting to move north and east. And the last couple of frames, they're kind of making that classic right-hand turn. And so they're moving more east. And I wouldn't be shocked if they moved more southeast or east-southeast as they go on, but certainly east. So that's why really anywhere south of Interstate 20 you would want to watch. But also too, though, anything certainly south of Athens, Corsicana, Cleburne, Glen Rose, Tyler, those areas you definitely want to be on the lookout for. So, all right, so let's stop this. I don't see any more comments, so let me go back here. So again, this is a little bit bigger picture here. So just to recap, tornado warnings northwest of Waco, around Meridian, severe thunderstorm warning west of Stephenville. That storm may go tornadic. We probably won't have to worry about those storms, but the other storms that we want to watch out for, and I'll certainly be watching out for in the rest of the evening, are these storms right here. We'll know a lot more in the next hour or two what they're going to do. But again, right now, they're behaving, and so let's hope they continue to do that. And the last thing I want to point out is, again, you see, it's probably hard to see, but you see these winds out of east-southeast here. But then when you get to Flower Mound, Fort Worth, Dallas, east, northeast winds, that's eventually going to die down a little bit. So we probably will get some more unstable air back up our way, but hopefully it won't be enough in time to cause us problems, especially the problems we have down south. But we're going to be watching it. All right, I don't see anything else. So as conditions warrant, I will come back on. Hopefully, to be honest with you, if I come back on, it'll just be to give you the all clear. But if not, we'll talk about it. So if you have outdoor plans, outdoor activities, concerts or school stuff or whatever, just have a plan of action. If you just know where you're going to go if you need to. I don't think that you'll have to do that necessarily, but just you always want to be prepared. And then I'll keep watching everything, and no matter what, we'll get through it, and we'll go on to tomorrow. But I think, knocking on wood here right now, it's not looking too bad certainly as bad as it was looking for us in the Metroplex earlier today. That is for sure. So, all right. So I'm watching the weather, so you don't have to. Again, I really appreciate everybody tuning in, and I will be back as conditions warrant. Hope you have a good evening, guys. We'll see you soon.